Yo, what's happening, y'all? This is B Jizzle of the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Welcome to the number one LA Clipper podcast out there. We want to first give you guys a shout out, LA Clipper fan, LA Clipper Nations, for being here. Share this podcast with your family and friends. They will not be disappointed, but let's get it popping.
Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight. That's why they follow me, They think I know the way. Cause I took control of things. Ballin' the solo way. And if you pattern my trend, I make you my protege. Flossing that soldier race. Niggas don't know them days. Take you in back of the buildings. Make you expose your rage. Take you across the tracks. Make you explode the face. Now you official now. But you got a soul to say. I just been cooking that new. I'm about to drop in the few. Think if I call it the great, the people gon' call it the truth. I ain't really trip on the credit. I just paid all of my dues. I just respected the game. Now my name all in the news. Tripping on all of my moves. Quote me on this, got a lot more to prove. Remember I came in this bitch, fresh out the county with nothing to lose.
For nothing, no. Wanna count on you, but I don't do this shit for nothing. No, not at all. You, but my money red, that you do, all year long. So I don't do this shit for nothing.
Rolling up some good, pulling up till we get faded. You know how we do it. Everybody take a flex on me. I got the keys to the city. I don't need no limousine. I turn up when I pull up and tell my booking agent book a show. Running around with the paper bag, running around with the paper bag. Going crazy spending all this cash. Going crazy spending all this cash. If I spend it, I'ma get it back. Even when I ride around dirty, a nigga don't need a seatbelt. A nigga don't need a seatbelt. Nah, it don't cost to keep it real. Run up, get done up. Shit can get real. Fuck around and get your ass right. Nigga, fuck around and take your shit. Got you asking God why. Drag your ass into an alley. Pull out aim for the target. Should've never been around the killers. In my town, we the fucking realest. No cheddar bars round here. I get the spray and they gon' get down. Ski mask over my face. Catch a body in broad day. Catch a body in broad day.
I got the key to the city. I got a hold of Shadiddy. Talk to that bitch in Swahili. Tattoo my name in graffiti. Whack out your hood in graffiti. Come through your hood on the weekly. None of y'all niggas can't see me. None of y'all niggas can't see me. Y'all ain't got nothing like this over there. Bunch of frontline millionaires. Bunch of self-made at the Trump bag. Guess the odds really took it there. Any problem, I'ma reappear. With a squad you already fear. All this time I've been playing fair. 7 digits every single year. Niggas die, niggas disappear. Alibis, I was really there. Life a crime till I get the chair. Columbine in my trigger hair. Still I rise and I took the stairs. Feel a fire, it's a different glare. All these fights, it was never fair. Busting up and still I'm swinging fears. Taste the salt inside my dripping tears. You should know I never had a fear. You should know I never had a shot. Never had a chance till I took it here. Man, it's proud, but I see it clear. Strategize, I'm an engineer. Pick a side, gotta keep it there. Switching up, nigga, looking weird. I got the key to the city. I got a hold of Shadiddy. Talk to that bitch in Swahili. Tattoo my name in graffiti. Whack out your hood in graffiti. Come through your hood on the weekly. None of y'all niggas can't see me. None of y'all niggas can't see me.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Matthews, a.k.a. B Jizzle. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. All of our YouTube videos. Hit that like button. Y'all come in here, hit the share, subscribe. Hit that Cash App. $ BJ Matthews, $ BJ Matthews for all this great content we drop to you on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. Let's get it popping. All right, y'all. So we back with another video, man. We back with another video for the LA Clipper Nation. I hope that y'all enjoying y'all day. Yesterday, this morning, we are on Thursday. You know what I'm saying? We're almost at the weekend, man. It's crazy how fast the week goes. But always trying to bring y'all as much good content as possible. Detailed and things of that nature. So I'm in the car right now driving. You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to take a little bit of a ride with me again. we had a couple good lives the last couple of days, you know what I'm saying? So, I hope that y'all have enjoyed the lives, got a lot of feedback. Making sure that y'all always engage. Let me know that y'all in the comment section, things of that nature. But let's get into it, man. Another pre-recorded video. And this is going to be pertaining around Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. I actually have another video out. It's going to be coming out probably, if not tonight, probably tomorrow. It's going to be about Russell Westbrook. And it's going to be talking about, him most likely getting moved out the Clippers. I just want to kind of give like some insight of what his impact has been. But I came across a, interesting article yesterday. Actually, this morning I came across an interesting article that was actually echoed from what was actually said on USA on the press conference at camp a couple of days ago. That was from Kawhi Leonard. So it's like I tell you all the time, I have my mind racing all the time, y'all. I have different things going on in my mind, this, that, and the other. And I'm always trying to, really connect dots and put things together. And this is another dot that I'm, kind of putting together after, going through these last two lives with y'all, man, and really talking to y'all more in detail and in depth about everything that's been going on, what's been happening. I got to talk to y'all about this. Now, for y'all that do not know, Kawhi Leonard is not going to be playing with USA camp. I know that y'all pretty much know that. It was announced yesterday that he would not be joining USA camp, and it kind of came out of nowhere. Like, I won't say it's a shock that he's not going to play. I think it's more of a shock of the timing because of, them going through a whole week of camp, him playing, and, people saying that he looked pretty good in camp. I think he was one of the top 3 people voted as one of the best players in camp, like right by LeBron. I think. Who was the second guy? Was it Anthony Davis? I don't know who it was. It was LeBron was up there, but Anthony Davis and then Kawhi they were all in one bunch. They looked like the best players at the camp. And it was kind of weird that they pulled him out when he was kind of having a role in the momentum. We know that Kawhi Leonard just a couple weeks back, and I'm getting different reports. And like I say, that's why I say it's you got to watch who you listen to when it comes to his report, because there's one side saying that he looked really good in the Clippers facility when Steve Kerr and Grant Hill went to go see him, and there was another side where they thought that was a little bit, they were a little concerned. So you got to kind of watch what basically which reports you listen to. Now, of course, yesterday Shams, at the aftermath of him being replaced, they said he had game speed concerns, meaning I don't know if the Clippers or if it was the USA or if it was Kawhi Leonard himself, they were saying, there might be concerns with him going game speed. Now, when I hear that, that takes me back to, again, 2 weeks ago. The Clippers obviously gave the okay for Kawhi Leonard to go to this Olympic trial, right? He wanted to go out there last week in Vegas and give it a try and work out with the team and, scrimmage and stuff like that. And they automatically pull him back after this week of scrimmaging and this week of practicing with the team. And then they want to bring up game speed concerns. So, that's kind of a little bit weird. That's a little bit weird. So what I did yesterday, when I said this whole, they want to just focus on the season and, not want to be a distraction. They want to respect the Olympians and things of that nature. I kind of paused and I'm just like, well, you didn't have an issue with going before this week. So I'm like, this some didn't add up to me. And then when I start hearing, Shams come out and say game speed concerns, and I hear Mark J. Spears starts coming out. He said 2 days ago, Kawhi's can't reach out to USA Basketball expressing concern, a source said. Basically, they tried to, see how he worked out and how he did with the team. And when they put him out in, like, actual, gameplay, he they were, I guess, for overloading his knee, his body, and they rushed him back. That's what I'm really starting to believe it is. That they, I mean, because it's different from you working out by yourself or going through drills or whatever, from actually going full-fledged in a scrimmage with really the best players in the world. You know what I'm saying? You're taking that jump from working out. Okay, let me go play in a scrimmage with some of the best players in the world. That's a huge jump, even for a guy like Kawhi Leonard. So I just feel like they should have came out and just told the truth and been like, yo, look, we thought that we had Kawhi Leonard, ready to go for the Olympics, but because of the impact and because of the speed of the game, it's gonna, actually be a concern of him going out there. That's why I just wish they would have came out and said, instead of this, politically correct report, because that's understandable. Because it's like, yeah, you didn't play at all in the playoffs outside of 2 games. You ain't played in no real game for the last 2.5, 3 months. And when you came back in the playoffs. You obviously couldn't go. You couldn't push yourself even harder. So it's kind of like the same little pattern. Like, you try to come back to the Olympics and play high speed, and your body, you couldn't adjust. So it's a lot. But I want to get into more so this with this Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. As like I said, hit that like button. So I'm Uzbek, who's a Clipper writer, LA Clipper writer, beat writer, or ESPN senior staff writer. He came out and, of course, had his 2 cents to throw in with the Kawhi Leonard, situation. He wrote about Kawhi Leonard, about Paul George's departure. Now, y'all know during the whole USA week, they're going to ask about this since, Paul George got moved now going on 2 weeks. So he said Kawhi Leonard says Paul George's departure was no surprise. So as we continue, he said Kawhi Leonard talked with Paul George throughout the season about his contract negotiations and said he was not surprised when George left to sign with the Philadelphia 76ers. In his first comments about George's departure, Leonard said Friday that he and George knew what needed to happen for the duo to stay together with the LA Clippers. Okay, this is the initial comment. Now, if y'all saw any of the sound bites, they asked about Kawhi Leonard, how he felt the first time. And he said he wasn't ready to talk about it. He didn't want to talk about that. He just said he had no issue with, Paul George leaving. That was the first day. Then they go into, I think, the second or third day. He gets a little bit more open, and he says this. He said basically it wasn't no surprise, and they kind of already knew it wasn't the beginning of the season, right? And I'm gonna kind of go back to that in a minute, but let's continue. George ended up signing a 4-year, $212 million deal in the free agency with the Sixers, and this is his quote. He said, "We knew what it was before the season," Leonard said after USA basketball practice on Tuesday. "We knew what it was going to come down to. So we talked the whole way through. It's no surprise." All right. So y'all smash the like button as y'all come in here again. So that was Kawhi Leonard speaking upon Paul George's departure from the Clippers. Now, a couple things I want to bring out. You guys got to remember and go back to what happened at what Paul George talked about it on his podcast. They asked him about what Kawhi's response was when he told him he was going to end up leaving the Clippers and going somewhere else. And Paul George came out and said that he had to give Kawhi Leonard that conversation. He owed it to him. He owed him to have that conversation. And when he told Kawhi, like, yo, I think I'm going somewhere else. The contract negotiations with the Clippers is not going so well. Kawhi Leonard's response was basically, hey, man, go get your money, go get your bag. I can't even be mad at you. You know what I'm saying? Go take care of you. Like, it was basically support. Right? It was basically support. So now that you look at this and you hear this, you see this report from Kawhi, and you heard the soundbite, it's kind of lining up to what Paul George is saying on the report, on the actual podcast. So according to Kawhi, he said they've been talking and they've been having these conversations at the beginning of the season. As I've told y'all before, these players talk. These players talk. Because at the end of the day, you're dealing with a brotherhood amongst players. Once you are a player, whether if it's on your team or somebody else's team, you most likely gonna have a common bond with each other. Y'all gonna have a common bond. So because Kawhi and Paul George are not just teammates, but they're really close, as Paul George echoed on this podcast, their families spend time with each other. Their kids play with each other. They've been knowing each other since since college. You gotta remember, Kawhi and PG played each other in college. Kawhi went to San Diego State out here in California, and then Paul George was the Fresno State in California, right? They both played each other in high school. They both around the same age. They're both at the same position. Both of them at the same, there's a lot of similarities between the two, right, on their backgrounds. So they've developed a friendship, not just a basketball partnership. So when I hear they've been talking throughout the whole season and it wasn't just something, a surprise, Kawhi Leonard knew pretty much every single step Paul George was taking, what he was looking at. Okay. To the point where he said, basically, go get your money. Because at the end of the day, Kawhi Leonard is the type of person, he's going to do what's best for Kawhi. You saw that with the Raptors. You saw that with the Spurs. You know, people pushing them to go play. And he wasn't trying to go out there and risk himself to get hurt even further. No matter how much of the backlash he got from Spurs fans, from NBA fans, how much they tried to demonize him, he said, I'm not risking my career. I'm not risking my career to satisfy y'all at age 25 years old. I have a long career to go. I'm not risking my leg. So I went and got a second opinion, and I found out this was serious, more serious than what it actually was reported. Okay? So y'all gonna have to just hate me. So that's who Kawhi is. He's gonna do what's best for him. Paul George, according to him, was doing what was best for him. He was basically doing what was best in his interest and what his family and what was going to be beneficial. And on top of that, just like Kawhi felt disrespected from the Spurs, Paul George felt disrespected from the Clippers. And as I told y'all, and I'm going to continuously tell y'all, I will never side with an organization over a player who I feel has been done dirty, been trying to play like a fool. I can tell when organizations are playing games, because at the end of the day, these organizations are going to do what's best for them. Okay, as they should. They're $1 billion business. They got to keep the business going. So basically, i.e., once you leave or once you're done playing, we're through using you, it's on to the next commodity. That's just how it's going to be. Okay, well, I'm going to do what's best for me then. That's how it's about who has the amount of leverage, right? And in this situation, in my personal opinion, the Clippers had leverage, and I've said, and I was going throughout this within the whole month. They had leverage when they felt that Paul George wasn't going to leave because he's from LA and he wanted to stay here. His businesses are out here. His family's out here. You know what I'm saying? He's felt his kids, you know, have been accustomed out here. So it's a lot. And I'm more than definite that he shared that they knew that he wanted to stay here, which was true. That was the leverage the Clippers had the entire time. Paul George ain't going nowhere because this is his home. He loves it here. That was that was their leverage. And Lawrence Frank rolled with that. Lawrence Frank felt he can get an all-star caliber player signed on the cheap. That's what businesses tend to do. Shout out to Keyshawn Johnson. Let me go and try to get this person signed, save some money here, spend some money over there. And that way, you know what I'm saying, you know, I can go back to the boss and tell him I did a good job. That's what Lawrence Frank was thinking, to be perfectly honest. Well, that may work for certain players who are looking to take a friendly pay cut. But Paul George said to him, I'm not going to be getting. First of all, you slapped me in the face with a 2-year, $60 million deal. So you already showed me you don't respect me. Maybe if you respected me from the start, I'd be willing to give you a solid. I'll be willing to help you out. But because you did that and you tried to play me, I'm going to remember that and put that in my back pocket. So that was their leverage. So, and like I said, you can't, when a person feels disrespected, you don't know what they're going to do. That's the last video I said about Paul George. I said, yes, I don't think he would push that issue. But at the end of the day, the one wild card would be he feels so disrespected and slighted that he's like, you know what, I'm going to end up leaving here. You guys think that y'all can do this without me? Y'all think that y'all, you know what I'm saying, can just basically underpay me like that and think I'm not going to retaliate or I'm not going to get a deal somewhere else? Y'all, okay, hold this. So, my personal opinion, the Clippers made a mistake, or Lawrence Frank made a mistake, rolling with he felt like he was going to somehow fleece Paul George and staying here. Because I think he wanted PG here, but he wasn't going to give him the money that he was asking for. And if he had a chance to trade his ass, he would have traded him in a drop of a hat like they traded Blake Griffin. And that's where the no trade clause comes in. See, as I told Monty yesterday, I said Paul George ain't never asked for no trade clause in his whole career. He never would have asked for one if the team, he felt they weren't going to try to, stab him in the back. Again, that's business. But back to Kawhi. When I see that he's been pulled out of USA, I'm already telling y'all, I don't feel like it's just as simple as, him wanting to focus on the season. I think something else is deeper, that they try to get him out there. He obviously is needing, act the way it was supposed to act. And, this is the situation that they're in. And if Kawhi and Paul George have been talking this whole summer and dating back since, the beginning of the season, and he was so cool with the fact of him actually leaving and not upset like a lot of Clipper fans are upset about him leaving, whether that be because you feel like he stabbed the organization in the back, or because you didn't think he was, the guy to, lead the team. Whatever the situation is, a lot of Clipper fans are upset. There's people on Twitter still talking about this, and it was like 4 days ago with his podcast. Whatever the reason may be, for him to be still that cool, calm, and collected, knowing that this is going to make the team not better but worse, shows me he was thinking more than just on a basketball second. I'm talking about Kawhi. He was looking at Paul George more as the person, not as the basketball player. Remember, Kawhi brought Paul George here, not the other way around. Kawhi called Paul George after Toronto won the championship. Remember, and the story came out, Kawhi and PG almost teamed up in Toronto with each other. Kawhi was trying to get PG to come to Toronto. Kawhi, after PG, I guess, messaged Kawhi, congratulations, bro, winning the championship. Kawhi called him and actually said he heard that people were trying to get out of OKC, and then Paul George obviously wasn't approved of that, and he basically found out what it was, and I guess Russell Westbrook was trying to leave. So Paul George said, you know what, if he's trying to leave, then I'm going to get up out of here too, and I'm going to team out with Kawhi, get a chance to go home, and I get a chance to play, in a winning situation. So I say that to say there's obviously a true friendship and brotherhood between those two. There's obviously something where they look at each other as more than just basketball. I've heard it before. I've told y'all before. Paul George has defended Kawhi probably more than anybody when it comes to his injuries. Every time somebody came out and said something slick or said, he don't want to play, Paul George basically shut that down, whether that be on a press conference, whether that be on his podcast, whether he always vouched that Kawhi wants to play. Not like Tony Parker, his teammate, who basically called him out, right? PGA never did that. So, when you actually care for a person, and people might not be able to understand this, but when you actually really care for a person and they actually have your best interest, you tend to put away the basketball feelings to the side. Kawhi Leonard knows his knee is not getting better. He knows he has so much long to really stretch his career out. Because my thing is, if Clipper fans are worried and they're concerned and they're like, well, can he hold up? What do you think's going on in his mind every single day? He has to actually be inside of his body. What makes you what if you guys are skeptical and y'all don't know if his knee's gonna hold up? What do you think is going on in his mind? And then he has to live it. It's easy for the outside in to say, well, we don't know this, we don't know that, but we don't have to live in his body. He has to live in his body, and by the way, he has to also live after basketball. There's so many different things getting thrown at him, and then you got to deal with the backlash of people, saying he don't want to play and he wants to sit. Like, it's a physical and a mental, it's a physical and mental strain on him to have to hear all that and have to feel all that. Because all he wants to do is finish, and trust me, all he wants to do is have the opportunity to finish in the season and in the playoffs. I don't even think particularly, of course, Kawhi wants to win, and he plays to win, but I think he's at the point where now it's like, damn, just get me through the entire year. Just get me through the season, get me through the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? The results will be the results, but please, God, get me through the entire year. And his body just will not allow it. Hell, his body, he won't even, again, this is alleged, his body won't even get him through Olympic games. Or he won't trust his body yet. So, if he's thinking like that, and he's been in connection with PG all this time, and he knows the situation, and I'm more than definite, and I'm more than definite. He told Kawhi a long time ago what the Clippers were offering him, and a person, even Kawhi, who has of his level of play and knows what Paul George is, knows that 2-year, $60 million deal is disrespectful. And he probably got to a point, he's like, damn, like, they even doing my dog dirty. So, not like me, yeah, I was upset that they moved Paul George off the Clippers, but eventually I got over it and I got peace with it. Because in my personal opinion, he's in a better situation. See, at the end of the day, I look at more of the person and their situation more than just a sports team. Because you have a short shelf life to be able to play at a certain level. If he can go to a team and get paid his rightful amount and get offered where somebody really values him and appreciates him, then I could be like, okay, he's in a better spot. And he's also in a way he can win a championship. Because in Philadelphia, he'll have a coach who will be able to use him correctly, who has shown with his ex-teammate in Kawhi that he can win a championship with his offense. He's going to be able to use him in a better way, unlike Ty Lue, who's pretty much conformed all the way to James Harden. It was just too much one stacked on top of each other where it was going to be a lot of feet being stepped on. Rather than him going to a team in Philadelphia where he fits like a glove. He can play his position. He can play in the offense. He has help around him. He has defense around him with Caleb Martin, with Kelly Oubre, with Joel Embiid. He has guys that's going to be able to protect the rim, right? He's going to have a point guard in Tyrese Maxey who they can share the ball handling duties with each other. And it's a fresh start, and you're getting paid. See, when you get paid, like let's just put this basketball to the side. Let's just talk about human beings. When you get paid, like nobody wants to work. Let's be honest. Nobody wants to work. You work because you have to work. But once you get that, what keeps you going back is that damn paycheck. You can say the love for something, that's cool. But nobody's busting their ass doing anything for free. Nobody. And if you are, to me, you're a damn idiot. Because you can't even survive out here without any type of money. And if you get paid and if you feel appreciated and your boss is taking care of you or your manager's taking care of you, you're going to perform. It's just natural. You're going to be able to want to perform because you're not going to have that on your mind. You're not going to be having that weighing down on your head. You're not going to have that affecting your psyche. That's anybody. I don't care if you're the strongest person mentally. Eventually, you're going to have a breaking point. And that's why I said I'm glad he ain't come back, because it's like you already looked at, and this goes back to what he said on his podcast. It didn't even feel right for him to come back, because it's like it would be too much tension amongst them. Like you already showed me how you really truly felt, so everything else is really fake to me. Vice versa, a coach or a top 50 player comes in your house and tells you that you're the missing piece, and they give you a full max deal. Oh yeah, I'm going to be over there. I'm ready to work. I'm ready to work. I don't have to be concerned. I'm not concerning myself anymore with the distractions from the outside. It's like Taz said, signing Paul George to a 2-year, $60 million deal with the Clippers, he would have been miserable. And to be quite honest with you, he probably wouldn't really even want to give his full self. And why would you? Why would you give your full self when you get underpaid? But back to what I was saying about Kawhi and PG. I'm starting to believe, because of everything that happened and because of what the report that, of course, Kawhi said that they had throughout the entire year, and it wasn't a surprise to him. He wasn't surprised like Ty Lue was. Like, Ty Lue coming out saying he was disappointed he didn't come back, because, Ty Lue obviously didn't have those same conversations. This is why I say, me personally, I think he was disappointed because he wasn't expecting it. Right? He didn't have those conversations with Paul George like Kawhi did. So yeah, you're disappointed that he didn't come back, but then again, you're part of the problem, because you basically gave James Harden the offense to run, which, as I said throughout the entire season, Paul George wasn't feeling it. But you love James Harden so much, instead of having an adequate offense where it actually benefited everyone, that I'm telling you, I don't think PG was feeling it. I think that one of the people he kind of really wasn't really trying to really deal with was Ty Lue. So he's gonna see the backlash that, now that you don't have him. He acknowledged that he was a big piece, but it's one thing for you to say it, but when you have to actually show it, right? So, like I said, Kawhi and PG both very close with one another, and like Klay Thompson left Golden State and Draymond Green came out and said, he was miserable the entire year. He wasn't even in his right state of mind, and it bothered him to see him like that. He only wanted to see him be happy and have joy again. That's all Draymond wanted. I'm pretty sure that's all Steph wanted. Even though Klay told Steph, like, don't try to, force the front office to keep me here. I want them to, do it themselves. Another way to pull somebody's card and know if they're being honest and being truthful, is allow them to come to you. Well, obviously the Golden State Warriors didn't value him, so Klay Thompson said that was his confirmation. Anything else that happens after that, if he had resigned with Golden State, he would have resigned himself back to a situation where he knew they looked at him as just basically a side option. And you're not going to be able to perform to your best when you feel like you've done so much, gone through injuries, back-to-backs, torn ACL, torn Achilles, and what I'm saying, what you pretty much gave to the organization. They were struggling. Remember, the Warriors were struggling for 2 straight years when Klay Thompson was out. That should have already gave him his value right there, because Steph Curry was on the court and Draymond Green was on the court, and they were a play-in team then. One year, I think they didn't even make the playoffs. They were like the worst team in the West. So Klay Thompson looking at it like, shit, I'm part of this puzzle. You need me just as much as anybody on this trio. I was a part of this trio and helped Steph get his first title. Helped Draymond get a title. I was part of this splash. Like that. That's how Klay Thompson and these players think. So when you show me your hand, that's damn near like ultimate betrayal, brother. How you want to see it or not, that's how Klay Thompson took it. But now that you put him in a situation like Dallas, where he gets a fresh start, I guarantee you he's going to be more amped up to play. But that's how I see Klay. That's how I see Kawhi and PG. I think Kawhi knows himself better than anybody. His body. He has his championships. He has his awards. He has his accolades. He's going to go down as one of the top 75 players of all time. You know what I'm saying? If my personal opinion, you know what I'm saying, his story is already written. But the problem is that Kawhi Leonard left so much on the table because of just injuries. I personally believe if Kawhi Leonard got hurt, he'd be a top 5 player of all time. He'd be sitting somewhere around 4 or 5 championships right now if he never got hurt. Right? So I think he looked at it like, yo, P, I don't know how much time I have left. I got 2 titles. I got 2 championships. I'm solidified. You are missing one thing, and that's a championship. You can go over there in Philadelphia and compete for one in the East. And I think personally, I think it'll be a fresh start for him. So, again, man, that's just my thoughts about it. You can, how can I put it? You guys have people that you are close to that you only want to see them happy and want to see them feel appreciated. And you might have to put yourself in a position where it's not about you and think about the other person. Right? And that's called growth, and that's called brotherhood. That's called, okay, well, I really, care for this person. I don't want to see nothing to see them, happy and beneficial. Right? Russell Westbrook's on his way out. We don't know what James Harden is going to be, have to, deal with. Like, if we're going to be honest about with the Clippers right now, and I actually see the signings that we got, I'm telling you, I think it's more so for retooling for the future. Now, let's say Kawhi Leonard is out or he plays this year. He ends up playing a full season and the playoffs. Okay, you got a chance. But if you really look at Kawhi Leonard right now and the situation he's in now, do you think he's looking more so like I'll be available for the whole season of playoffs, or you think he's like telling himself, please just get me through the playoff season and the playoffs? Based on how other people feel right now and how they're taking it, I'm going to go with the second option, because that's what we are saying. Let's just get him through the whole season and the playoffs. that's why I feel like we got rid of the wrong guy. And when I say the wrong guy, I don't think that it was Kawhi we should have got rid of if we kept Paul. Like I said, we see now that you don't have PG there, it puts more of the stress on. It puts them more in a situation where Kawhi might not be able to hold up. Like, let's say Paul George leading the team, you at least know that you're going to be a chance to be in the playoffs. Even if Kawhi, because we've already seen it, Paul George can actually get us into the postseason. He can actually make the 2021 year was 21-22 year is probably the most funnest year a part of 2-1-3 era, in my personal opinion. No real expectations. Kawhi Leonard's out, and we still have, a star player on the court, which in reality, there is a lot of games even this year that as number one option, Paul George actually carried us, to wins. But now that you don't have that, you got to look at James Harden to do it. And could James Harden give us a winning record? And let's say Kawhi Leonard misses about 15 games this year. If he plays like 64 games, 63 games, do y'all think he can get us a winning record? That's what we're gonna be asking for now, since we're in this situation. I don't believe he impacts the game enough where you can really trust him to actually. It's gonna take more of everybody else to do what they're supposed to do. He only affects the game on the offensive end. So if his shot ain't falling, or his pick and roll with Zubac ain't there, and he can't guard the point of attack, it's gonna look really, really bad. And if you account for all the minutes he's gonna be playing, that Ty Lue's gonna be running him through the ground. James Harden will look great if he actually was able to get some rest here and there, because when you saw him first come on to the team, he was actually very, very, effective. But as time went on, you kept on overplaying him, running through the ground. He looked more and more worn out where he needed a break. So it's gonna force Ty Lue to have to coach and manage these guys better. Whether it be the rotations, the lineups, the play scheming, it's gonna take an entire overhaul and different mentality approach now that you've changed some things up. But that's pretty much what I wanted to say about all that, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. We'll be back on later. Until next time, pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull a live. Peace. Out of here like swimwear.
Wow.
I've been all around the world, Japan to Amsterdam. Meals nutritious, lifestyle was vicious, yeah. While these out here tried to hate mine, yet I still stood tall on the main line. Two-step, throwing up their gang sign. All around the city, big chain, but he ain't signed. Y'all fake tough, little puffs to my canines. Don't forget cracking at them hit boy parties. Probably got your girl naked at them hit boy parties. Big chains, big flexing at them hit boy parties. Nobody trip, cause they knew I had that big boy on me. Yeah, gang of fast living, addicted to cash get. Disrespected to getting the ass whipped. Don't call yourself a baller unless your whole clan get. Plan you got, you ain't working, then you need to plan different.
This on west side over everything. Yeah, this on west side over everything. Yeah, this on west side over everything. Yeah, this on west side over everything.
Yeah, no need for the locks out. Baby got her box out. Just dropped the man, now she looking for that knockout. He did her wrong, then he tried to shame, baby. She was trying to bounce back, so don't blame, baby. Cause it kick her up, one time fuck her up. A true big homie, I don't hear his name enough. Went through the real movie while y'all snowed on the bluff. Gotta give it up, big homie did his stuff. Now it's all about the bag play. We been around more smoke than an ashtray. Right cheek, left cheek, let her ass shake. On God, I'm 100 to my last day. West side, east side, yeah, I'm both for that. No talking take off, bro, I'm known for that. 50 M's on the scales, yeah, I'm close to that. Yeah, you on the same mission, yeah, I'm hoping that. Make the money overlap.
West side over everything. Yeah, this so west side over everything. Hey, it's on west side over everything. Yeah, it's on west side over everything. Throw it up,
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 throw it up. Yeah, that's it up. Hey, homies. Yeah, 323s, 213s, 310s, 424s. Hey, 818. Yeah, what we missing? 562s, I see. Hey, yeah. Give it up. Hey, give it up. Hey, give it up. Battle Cat. Holla. That nigga Dom Kennedy. Yeah. Gotta love that. Yeah. Corrupt. We love you too.